I modded Terraria so that it randomizes the damage of every single weapon in the game, meaning that weapons that are normally weak can do massive damage, and weapons that are normally strong can barely make a dent into a slime. I decided to grab my friend Therm and challenge two of Terraria's best speed racers, Mars and Adrian, to a race all the way to the Moon Lord. Adrian and Mars have done tons of these types of challenges across their channels, so you might say it was absolutely insane of me to challenge them. But I knew that the bond me and Therm had created made us an unstoppable force that could overcome any obstacle. Damn it.
I'm not having fun.
What the f***ing
Oh my god!
The run starts out with me and Therm heading in opposite directions to begin looking for caves. We devise a plan to accumulate as many resources as we possibly can and then check them all at the guide. Once we find the most broken weapon we possibly can, we can just zoom through the rest of the game. This means that our strategy relies heavily on a long early game to secure a shorter end game. With this strategy in mind, we both begin searching throughout our world. I go down inside of a cave and peer through a couple of chests. I don't find anything too exciting other than a wooden boomerang that does 43 damage, which is more than a Knight's Edge does in a normal game of Terraria. Me and Therm continue searching in the caves for a bit before, Since we're both forcefully returned back to spawn, we decide to check in with a guide to see if there's anything that's worth crafting. After scrolling through a bunch of mostly uninteresting options, we realize that flaming arrows do 44 damage. For reference, luminite arrows in unmodded Terraria do 15 damage, so we're working with almost triple the power just a couple minutes in. Me and Therm decide to go all in on the flaming arrow strat, since they're not only absurdly powerful, but also very easy to buy in massive amounts once we get the merchant to move in. Now, our only goal was to find a powerful bow that we could use these flaming arrows in, and we'd be set. We go through all of the bows we have materials for, and none of them prove fruitful. Copper bow, iron bow, silver bow, hell, we're even checking the palmwood bow. And yet none of these have been gifted the blessing of insane damage.
Oh, you want to join the same team? Just join
Oh,
pink.
yeah.
Team
Purple
pink.
team.
It's pink.
Purple team.
It literally says in the bottom left.
Team purple.
Okay. Well.
Purple for life. It's at this point I get the idea to go to the jungle, as I thought it'd be a great opportunity to gather a bunch of new materials to check for bows. We'd also be able to grab a bunch of life crystals fast, which could prove crucial at this stage in the run. Therm, however, was slightly resistant to this plan. You know what, maybe we should just go to the jungle.
That seems like a terrible idea.
Let's go together. Come on, Therm, to the jungle. We got this.
There's no purpose. Every weapon in the game has an equal chance of having damage. Why would we go to the most perilous possible area?
Because it'll be quicker.
It won't, because we'll die and make no progress.
I won't die.
2 seconds later.
No! Clearly, I was wrong. I craft my wooden boomerang into an enchanted boomerang that does an insane 56 damage, which I switch to be my primary weapon for now. With that, we plunge into the jungle together. Me and Therm go through the jungle and continue gearing up, grabbing some life crystals, accessories, and I even grab the Staff of Regrowth, which would normally mean I'm just stacking a fat stack of 50 silver, but in this mod, it's an 85 damage auto swing weapon. Never thought that the Staff of Regrowth would be integral to my success, and yet here I am, turning my foes into flowers. After a good long while of gearing up, Therm makes the gigantic discovery that we've been waiting for: the gold bow. Unlike all of the other pitiful bows in this mod, the gold bow has been kissed by the gods, as it now does a whopping 70 damage, which would make it the strongest bow in the entire game. I take this time to buy way too many torches and way too many arrows, leaving me set for a while. Of course, unless we were to discover a different ranged weapon that's even more insane but can't use flaming arrows. Unless that was to happen in like 20 minutes. Then we'll be set, and this won't all be just a waste of money. Using the resources we acquired while in the jungle, we were able to equip each one of us with a gold bow, and just like that, we officially had momentum. With that, I go to summon our very first boss, the Eye of Cthulhu. I'm gonna summon in the eye.
Okay, I'm really nervous.
I'm not nervous at all.
I'm horrified.
We got like a 70 power bow. We'll be fine.
Sean, it does not matter. That's what I'm telling you. Doesn't matter how quickly we get it to the last phase. Once it hits the last phase, it will kill us in probably 1 or 2 hits.
Even though I think we'll most likely be fine, I decide to respect my teammates' wishes and continue gearing up. This leads to me and Therm just generally putzing about for like 20 minutes. I tried using a teleportation potion, but I didn't find anything. Then I go to find some sky islands using a gravitation potion I had, and that didn't go so well either. In my confused efforts on how exactly to proceed, I start building a elevator with my silver silver pickaxe for some reason. Doesn't matter. After all that putzing around, my incessant nagging finally wears on Therm and he decides to take on the Eye of Cthulhu with me. We got this.
All right.
We'll just have to distract him when he goes into that other phase.
Okay, look at this intense damage.
We're actually kind of... Holy shit. We're underestimating ourselves so much.
Yay!
Oh my god. Yeah, we were greatly underestimating the power of having a 70 power weapon that shoots out 40 power ammo. We fight the eye like 6 times because it seemed important at the time for some reason. But at least the extra money we get from it will be great for making the rest of this run a breeze as we're able to buy anything we need. After equipping our sick new eye shields and looking at a bunch of underwhelming Crimtane weapons, we head over to the Crimson. We also decide to check in with Adrian and Mars to track their progress. This whole time we had just been so insanely afraid that they were surpassing us and that we were just falling so far behind. So this check-in had me so scared.
Yo, you guys doing good?
We just beat our first boss.
Where are you guys at?
Our second boss.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes me feel better. I thought we were way far behind. Turns out they were also about to take on their second boss of the run, more or less placing us around the same point. This was a huge weight off of me and Therm's shoulders. I think we had both been feeling a lot of pressure to mess up nothing as we knew Adrian and Mars would be leagues ahead of us. But knowing that we're basically at the same point invigorated us so that we felt like we could actually beat them here. We rushed down into the Crimson and start bombing open the hearts. As we're prepping the arena, Therm mistakenly summons the boss. However, it isn't really a big deal since we don't technically need to kill it. We're just here for the shadow scales. We clear the first phase, accept death, and then return on home. Now, there was actually a huge tip that Adrian and Mars had given us on our last call with them.
Our
You
main
guys have any
problem has just
guns?
been-
No.
It's
Okay,
not very
guns do a
good.
lot of damage. The
Okay.
bullets, yeah.
Oh, really? After checking, we realized that silver bullets do 100 damage each. And we thought flaming arrows were insane. With Therm having picked up the Undertaker from the Crimson, the arms dealer moves in. It's at this point that we realize that the mini shark does a whopping 51 damage, which is nearly double the damage of the mega shark. So with that, we've secured our weapon for the rest of pre-hard mode, if not the rest of the run. Good night, sweet flaming arrow. I bid you farewell. Now I have stacks of you for nothing. But this change allowed us to do a lot of things very quickly. Oh, we want to take on the Brain of Cthulhu again to get his accessory? Boom. Done. Oh, we gotta get to hell? F it. Let's just go through the jungle. Nothing can stand in our way now. After that little embarrassing moment, I start making my way back to the jungle. However, then this happens.
But I feel like I'm a pretty good cook.
I don't doubt that. You have like good cooking vibes. Awesome. Nice, awesome. After a while, I realized that it wasn't my conversational skills that were bad. No, it wasn't that at all. In fact, I'm actually one of the best conversationalists in the world, and everyone will tell you that. It's true. No, what had actually happened is that I had disconnected from Therm several minutes ago. I ran up the stairs and furiously shook my router 3 times, and to my surprise, that somehow actually worked. I jumped back into the world with Therm, but that means we gotta go all the way back to where we were. Yay. Also, if you see the timer messed up for the rest of the run, that's why. During all this time, Adrian and Mars had paused for us, but they hadn't like lost any progress unlike us. Therefore, we just lost a huge swing in our momentum, which will lead to us falling way behind. And seeing as we're already at a disadvantage, things couldn't be looking worse for us. We're gonna need to make it all the way down to hell somehow, and quick. So in a moment of pure desperation, stupidity, or some might even say genius, I decided to go for a Hail Mary play with 2 teleportation potions that I had picked up from chests. And Therm wormholed to me, and now we're in business. With a pathway to hell cleared, we start building the hell bridge to take on the wall of flesh. And here's how our fight with him went. Oh, oh my god, this is so easy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. All right, nice.
Yeah, because of the overpowered nature of our weapons, bosses have become relatively easy for me and Therm to handle. But with that, we did it. The first half of the game completed. And now it was time for hard mode. And oh boy, was it hard. If you thought we were struggling in pre-hard mode, oh my god, I I can't watch. After beating the wall of flesh, me and Therm both immediately teleported back to spawn, which, you know, in hindsight was definitely not our best idea, but I'll get into why later. For now, it was time to unpack our wall of flesh treasure bags, and through a series of extremely unfortunate events, I accidentally steal Therm's demon heart. I guess he accidentally opened his treasure bag with his inventory basically filled, and the demon heart was tossed to me. Confused, I attempt to give him the demon heart back, only for me to realize there is no throwing a demon heart. There was only using it. And oh, demon heart, you will be used. After taking Therm's demon heart, I feel pretty awful, so I decide to give him mine instead. Only problem is that if you open up a wall of flesh treasure bag after already using a demon heart, you will no longer get one. No demon heart for Therm. This was the first of many things that start to go wrong here as our run rapidly falls off the rails. And I mean rapidly. Here's the thing about Terraria. Pre-hard mode is pretty much open-ended. The only thing you have to do to progress is to kill the wall of flesh. There's no other boss you really have to kill. No roadblock to you killing the wall besides your own gear, health, and ability to get a guide voodoo doll. In hard mode, this is not the case. Hard mode has tons of little tiny things that you must do in order to keep progressing. Like anvil upgrades, furnace upgrades, required boss orders, required boss summoning items. While me and Therm were in pre-hard mode, it was really easy for us to forget about little things like the goblin army or queen bee. But in hard mode, each one of these progression steps we forget becomes a huge time loss. And we forget a lot of steps. Upon returning home, we immediately realized our first mistake. We did not kill the queen bee in pre-hard mode. Because of this, we never got the witch doctor to spawn in, and thusly cannot go and buy leaf wings. We could go and try to find the hive, but seeing as the jungle is now completely infested with extremely difficult hard mode enemies, that seems very non-optimal, and for two fools like me and Therm, probably impossible. We've already died a lot to these hard mode enemies, and despite the fact that we have very strong weapons, they are no longer so overpowered that the game's a joke. They're just like pretty good weapons. Everything becomes a slog as we're nearly one-shot by every single enemy and we're tied down to the ground. And this makes us very frustrated.
God.
I've been out here struggling.
Oh no. Whoa!
Damn it.
I'm not having fun. Oh my god.
What the f***ing
This is terrible. Oh, the anchor sticker.
We've only been in hard mode for like 20 minutes and it's already kicking our ass. To combat this issue, we decide that we should just try and rush for the destroyer. That way we'll be able to get a bunch of hollowed bars, and then with our new shiny armor, we'll be able to lend our attention to the 87,000 things you have to do in hard mode. So for now, we just start grinding out the materials we need to summon these mechanical bosses. Therm goes to the hollow and I go to the crimson, and we start picking up souls like it's nobody's business. And by that, I mean helplessly flop around, continuously die, and I get souls at a really, really slow pace. After a good amount of grinding and an even gooder amount of dying, I have a whole 7 souls of night, which would be just enough to summon the destroyer. I teleport home, filled with glee that we finally will be able to put this horrible slog to rest. Soon, we'll be energized with new armor that allows us to fight on for more than just 10 seconds each respawn. I gather up all the materials and...
Oh, we need an orichalcum anvil. Oh no.
Third, we bungled it! Is it obvious yet that we're a little bit out of our element here? This was a huge hit to our progress and set us back monumentally. After spending way too long building a hell elevator, which we probably should have just done in the first place, we had finally made it back to hell. Therm starts mining the hellstone while I focus on obsidian, and after a good long while, we finally get enough for our first molten pickaxe, so I start going to look for palladium. It's at this point that we decide to check in with Adrian and Mars and see what their progress is like.
We are updating you guys.
Yeah?
Okay.
We are waiting for a planetary bulb.
But on the good side, it could take them a very long time for them to find a planetary bulb, so that's our shot to spring forward in this. Meanwhile, I've died like 5,000 times looking in the same 2 spots for this stupid orange ore. Oh my god, I hate this part of the game so much. We're in desperate need for a new weapon. While the mini shark is powerful, it's awful for handling crowd control in the caverns down below. Then everything changed when the goblin army attacked. I go underground to continue looking for the ore while Therm defends the home base from these wretched goblins. And while he fights them off, he happens to pick our single saving grace in all this: the Shadow Flame Knife.
The Shadow Flame knife
Yeah?
does 365.
Oh my god.
So
oh my god.
I'll be using that.
This refilled me and Therm with hope. We had found an obscure, busted weapon that we doubt Adrian Mars had found. Our hearts fluttered in glee as we may have just found the key into catapulting ahead of our competitors. After so many more trips to the underground, I finally get enough palladium for the pickaxe, which means I can easily grab enough mithril to craft the anvil. And now we can summon the destroyer. While I generally consider the destroyer to be the easiest mechanical boss, you must remember that we still don't have wings. In fact, I don't even have a double jump. And unlike Therm, I was not one of the chosen few to be graced with the Shadow Flame Knife, so Therm's gonna be carrying us for a little while. However, we just narrowly make it through, riding off the backs of the Shadow Flame Knife and successfully kill the stupid worm. We had killed our first mechanical boss. The confidence was flowing through my veins. I felt incredible. In fact, so incredible that I just said, screw it, let's just fight the twins right now too. I bet you can guess how that went. And with that, it's like those two eyes had smashed me and Therm's compass, because we became completely directionless. We needed wings, we needed armor, we needed lenses, and oh my god, we needed bones! I forgot about the bones for the Skeletron Prime summoning item. Just throw it on the ever-expanding list of things we've forgotten, I guess. At this point, morale was very low. I don't think there was any way we could have felt worse.
We're going through pillars right now.
Oh my god. Okay, there was one way we could feel worse. Dejected, embarrassed, defeated. We're all but ready to throw in the towel until I make the discovery of a lifetime. Therm, they have the jetpack! Yo! Filled with hopes and dreams, we decide it's time to put pedal to the metal. Maybe we couldn't win at this point, but we were gonna get as close to them as possible to avoid embarrassment, because that's what matters most in this world. Our dignity. I head to the dungeon while Therm grinds out some lenses, and somehow, through a grace of God, we're able to craft another mechanical eye and skull. We are flying high on the wings of glory! We summon the twins, and with our new wings combined with Therm's completely busted Shadow Flame Knife, we easily smash those eyes back to hell. After waiting for the next night, we fight Skeletron Prime as well, and he proves a little bit more difficult. I die a lot. In fact, I don't think I've been helpful in this partnership at all since we beat the Wall of Flesh. It's just been Therm dragging my dead weight past every single obstacle. But once again, his busted butter knife led us to victory, each dagger bouncing from limb to limb. And with that, all of the mechanical bosses had been defeated, and it only took us 3 hours, and we couldn't be further behind. Oh god. Well, in fairness to us, we've gone past the brunt of the labor in hard mode. Now all we had to do was hop to the jungle, kill Pantera, kill the golem, and boom! We at least be on the lunar events, giving us a chance for an epic comeback. Except that I forgot one thing, the Plantera bulb. Finding the Plantera bulb is a frustrating part of any Terraria playthrough, but especially a speedrun. You could get insanely lucky and one could spawn right by the entrance, or you could spend eons and eons running around the dreaded jungle, only to never find it. But me and Therm had an ace up our sleeve, and that ace was taking a nap. We were gonna lie there for days, hours on end until that bulb spawned. The entire time, carefully thinking out our strategy to take on Plantera. Would you rather noodles for arms or snakes for feet? Our minds were churning at absurd rates as we thought about the fastest way to build arenas.
Snakes for feet.
How we could avoid damage, but they're like alive and they can bite people. We even thought of a secret plan that would guarantee us victory.
That's okay. I'll just wrap my feet up real tight with the snakes in there.
And after in-game days of theorizing, oh, the snakes can bite right through, we finally headed to the jungle. And after searching for several minutes, we find a bulb. This was our moment. If we could get this, we would redeem ourselves. Make everyone forget all about those embarrassing moments. Prove to the world that we were good at this game. And just because we play cozy games, that doesn't mean...
Time.
Yeah, we got destroyed.